G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sophisticated Bogan. We are on the Falcon again today. So we're going to be getting more of the front end taken apart. So, because I need to get everything here taken off so that I can drop the subframe, all that jazz, get all the bushings changed, all that type of stuff, the upper lower ball joints, everything's, a lot of stuff's got to get changed, cleaned up, restored or replaced. Alright, well, with no further ado, let's get cracking. Keep on cracking, get tie rods off next. So yeah, everything here, as I said, is coming off. So yeah, fun times ahead. Let's keep cracking. So there is a trick that you can do if you just like not having to replace all this. So if you just put the nut up on the thread, normally it comes out. Like, you know what I mean, like it's so you don't damage the thread. But we don't care about that on this because that's all been replaced. Better grab some WD-40. I don't know why I hadn't grabbed it already, but anyway. Only had heat. So another thing that I would do is that I would use like a butane torch. Excuse me. So a butane torch, heat it up, and then you can smash them out. But I do not have that, so yeah. Alright, so I may need heat. I may need to get some heat into this. So I'm just going to put this on hold and try and see what I can do, because I really need the tie rod out of the way, because I don't have any spanners, like ring spanners, for the bottom of the shaft, and I don't want to strip the nut, so yeah. So I really need that out of the way. So as you can see, we've gotten the top and bottom of the sway bar link out. So when I do end up taking the shock out and this drops down, I can just pop that straight out. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep on cracking on. Alright, so this is quite a bit later, it's been quite a bit of time in between the last part of the video you've seen and this part. So in this part, we're going to be getting some of the engine bay cleared out and getting that sort of stuff done, like the front bar and all that type of stuff off. Going to be grabbing my youngest daughter Kayla. She's been in some of the videos. You would have heard her in the background for some of the like bike night and stuff like that. So she's going to be joining us in getting this thing stripped down. Let's crack on. Right, so the areas that I'm going to get her to start on, I'm going to show her how to take the front bar off. And then I'll get it to move things like the headlights and indicators and how they come undone, everything. And then we can move on to getting stuff in here taken out, so like the airbox, the lines for the radiator for the cooling system and all that type of stuff. And yeah, we'll also tag off all the plugs, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, quite a bit to do. So going to move on to getting the airbox off. On these front bars on the E series, pretty sure it's only on the EDs. Could be on the EFELs as well, I'm not sure, but there's these little tabs or big tabs on either side, and it's been sitting for so long they're really hard to turn, so I'm going to put some WD-40 on there to sort of loosen it up a bit, make it a bit more lubricated, and then go on. Alright, so she's going to get on to getting the airbox off, so I've got to get her some tools, and that way she can see what she needs to do. So I've set her up with the Ugga Dugga.
What?
The Ugga Dugga.
Is that what you call it, or is that?
Yeah, it's a. Let's get on there. You need to make sure they get all the way out.
Did I do it?
Keep going. Alright, stop. I'm wondering if there's a nut on the other side. Get these ones. Yeah, no, it's out.
Yes, it
I was chucking them in the airbox for the moment. Underside, and there are 2 nuts. So if you want to slowly press the trigger in on the nut, on the bolt, and I'll hold the nut. Alright. And you can take the airbox out. I heard it, yeah.
Wait, do I just take it out?
Yeah, just take it out. And that is the airbox out. Alright, so hold that. Got these plugs. There's that one. There's that one. Alrighty. Alright. So while she's doing all the other bits, I'm going to be getting back on the other side, getting the rest of that stripped out, and then get on this side and get it stripped out. Alright. Alrighty, I'm going to continue on with getting this undone. Alright, so we got those undone. Kay's got some more of this stuff undone, so he's got to do the plug on the other side and probably got to drill out some rivets, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so I got a lot of stuff undone. I'm now going to get this undone and then drop that down and drop the suspension out. Yay! Alrighty, so the knuckle is almost free. I've just got to undo the last bolt. Probably should have done that one, but oh no, it's a bit easier to get like this. Anyway, so as you can see, these are pretty toast. That's what the new ones are for. Same with the bottom. Got new bottoms. Ball joints as well, so they'll be going in. Yeah, so I'm getting there peeps. I need to get this done because I need to get the subframe out and all that kind of stuff, and do all the engine mounts, as well as then do the sump pan as well, because that's got to be fixed, flattened back out, see if I can fix the sump pan, repaint it, new gaskets, put it back in. And then, you know, engine mounts in, subframe in, all that jazz, and then I can get the engine brace back to Peter. I'm so sorry mate, I know this is taking me a while. I really do apologise for that. Alright, so let's keep on cracking. Now have a look at this guys. I could almost just rip this off the ball joint. How crazy is that? I can almost rip that off. Insane. Anyway, got to keep bashing this so that I can get it off. Alright, so I've just WD-40'd it and just going to let that sort of sit for a little bit. Yeah, so move on to getting other stuff off. There's one strut out, or shock and coil. Yep, seen better days, that's for sure. So yeah, all the rubbers are buggered. So this will all be getting replaced, and a lot of this will be getting restored. So, alrighty, so I'm going to move on to the other side and get on to getting that stuff on. Alright, so I'm going to continue on getting this side undone. Yeah, fun times ahead still. Alrighty. So that is one hub knuckle thingamadoogie off. So yeah, we've got to replace the ball joints. As you can see there, oops, there we go. As you can see, the ball joints are quite a bit crap. Top one's not as bad, but it's obviously on its way out. Whoops, doing really bad with the camera here, guys. Apologies. So these got to get cleaned up, and then get the ball joints out of them, and then yeah, paint them up, make them look brand new again, and yeah, get them ready to go back in. Fun times. So undo these, get, oh, there we go, undo them, get the shock out, and then yeah, probably leave that for today, and then get onto it again first thing in the morning. Alright. Alright. That's the other one out. Alright, so that's the other one. I might undo the sway bar link and get that one out of the way. Yeah, so I've got to grab some spanners. Alright, so that's this done until tomorrow. So yeah, I've got to get this off on both sides tomorrow, so then I can get the torsion bar. I think that's what that is. I can't remember exactly what that's called, but I think it's called torsion bar, maybe. I don't know, I can't remember. And also I want to get the sway bar links off as well, so that I can get them out of the way. Alright, let's get on this knuckle off the other side, and also get the sway bar link out, blah blah blah, and yeah, that'll be it for this part, and then we'll continue on in the morning. Okay, so that is all done. Yeah, so we'll get the top out. As I said, both of those bits, both of them, undo the sway bar brackets underneath there, and that will be all free. And then yeah, we just got to then unattach, unbolt or unattach everything from the inside, like for the steering rack and that kind of stuff. I need to disconnect the power steering pump and get the fluids out, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, okay, let's crack on. Oh, well, yeah, crack on into the next bit for tomorrow morning. Alright, and as I said, these things are pretty toast. Right, yeah, they're bugging. But when it's all done, it's going to look all sweet and yeah, feel really good too on the road, because yeah, everything will be replaced. Alright, till tomorrow morning. Alrighty, so new day. So what we're going to be getting Kayla to move on to is doing the cooling system, because I want to get this sort of emptied out before we get on to getting her to do the fuel system. Also, I've been doing some CAD for another airbox. So yeah, this is just like a template, I suppose you can say, like, or, you know, first draft. But I will be making one out of either aluminium or steel. So yeah, that's a up and coming project for the air intake system. Right, so I've also had another revelation as well, that for me to be able to get to the engine mounts, unfortunately didn't think this is what I was going to be using to hold up the engine, like with the brace, but I'm going to have to take the intake off so that I can get to the mounting bolts underneath. So what I'm probably going to do is I might be able to swing this around so that then I can have clearance underneath, and I can just bolt it back up, attach it back up onto the intake manifold. So yeah, hopefully I can swing it around, put it upside down and re-bolt it. Obviously not all the bolts, because I won't really need all the bolts, but I probably will put in all the bolts because I'm OCD. Anyway, let's crack on. Right, so for this, she needs to undo the cap, then get off these two lines here, I've given her some tools to use to be able to do that. And yeah, we'll get her to follow along and then get the rest of the system undone as well. There's also a hose underneath the radiator reservoir that she also needs to get to. Alright, let's crack on. So all these lines will be getting replaced. I don't know if I've said it in a video before, but this here, they fitted a fuel line. They probably didn't factor in that fuel doesn't, when it goes through the car, it doesn't get hot. It's not until it gets up into the engine and everything like that it really starts to get hot. So they're not made to handle heat. And this thing is so hard. I mean, look, you can see the brittleness of that hose. See, that's what it's supposed to be, right? Nice and flexible, takes heat. That's what it's meant to go. It goes through heat cycles. But this is not made for that. And it is so rock hard. I can't even squish it. It's like a garden hose. So yeah, that's not good. It's a bit like some old days, isn't it? Like holding the torch. Now it's holding the camera. So as you can gather, everything is pretty corroded. These things can be a pain in the ass to undo when they have been corroded. So yeah, it was rusty on the inside. Rubber is not too bad actually, surprising. But yeah, they've just used water in there. So, and look at that. At least it's not completely milky, so that's a bonus. That's one thing you got to worry about. Okay, so I'll undo these clips for her because these are really solid. That one was a bit nicer. She probably could have done that one. Okay, we'll grab this out. So this is your drainage hose. It's supposed to be clipped onto the chassis. It is not. So I'm probably going to get a new hose as well. Overflow hose. So I'll probably get replaced with a newer one because that's getting replaced with a newer one. Seen an aftermarket one that I think looks pretty damn cool. So that's what I'm going to be going with. Yeah. Alright, since this is all just water and it's not coolant. Yeah. Here we go. Just a little way. So yeah, little trick. Try turning them first before pulling them off. Stuff over my face. Alrighty. So that can just be emptied out because it's just, yeah, it's just all water. Oh, is your feet getting wet?
Yeah.
You know, because she didn't wear shoes.
No one does. Well, it's got
It's the trusty Australian safety shoes, just like a pair of thongs. So I've got a lot to empty out. So we'll cut to this, we'll cut this, and we'll cut to when we've got it emptied. Oh, she's got the little baby ratchet, which she thinks is adorable. Yeah. Be careful of that. So she's undone that one, she's undone those, or undoing those two. We've got the ones up here. Everything's all detached with the hose, which connects down to there. So yeah, once we've got these ones off, system drained. If it is coolant, guys, make sure that you actually have it going into a container or some way to catch it all. But yeah, it's just water, so I'm not worried about it. But yes, if it's coolant, you know, guys, kind of think of, you know, the environment a little bit. You know, especially when you're restoring old stuff. You know, a lot of crap can come with places. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got them all undone, have we?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we'll get all these hoses off, and then we'll take it from there. I just want to quickly add in. This is one reason why you don't use a fuel line on a cooling system. Like, it takes a lot of heat. This is adhered to it because it's not the right kind of rubber. But yeah, so it's going to be fun to get off. Just thought I'd throw that bit in because I thought it was amusing. Wow. Look at the corrosion on that. See, this is why using water is not a good idea. So, not too sure what I'm going to end up doing with this engine because it's not going to be staying in the car. We'll be putting another engine in it. But it makes me think that this engine could need a rebuild. At least the heads. Like just to get it down to the heads and check the gaskets and stuff like that. Just to make sure that the ports are cleared, you know, where the journals are for all the fluid to go through, you know, the cooling fluid to go through. Oh man, that is really bad. Okay, let's keep on cracking, eh? So we've got to get the rest of the hoses undone. There's, I think, one more hose to undo. And then we've got to get the shroud off out of the way, so then yeah, I can get more room, and then we'll move on to the fuel system. So that's the next bit. I've also still got to do the lower control arms. I've got to get them out. So there's only 2 bolts left for those, and I've got to get the sway bar brackets undone as well. All right. Okay. So yeah. A lot of rust in that. So I will flush the radiator. If it doesn't have any real leaks in it, then yeah, I'll just flush the system out as much as the radiator as much as possible. Otherwise, I might have to get another radiator to put in there. This is a mish, Pete's. This is a bloody mish. Thanks. See, I've got my little sidekick. All right. Yeah, let's see if we can get the shroud off, and we'll keep on cracking. Alrighty. Well, it's very handy that it's a bit broken. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to get a flathead to undo these clips, and then we get all of the injector plugs off. Then once all those are out of the way, just tuck them down, and then yeah, we move on to disconnecting the fuel line. Right, let's crack on. Now I'll undo these plugs because it's quite easy to lose the pin. So you just put a finger or a thumb behind it, just to stop it wanting to go, like, you know, go really far away. So you undo, slide that back in. That way you don't lose it. Okay, so undo the fuel lines. Now, normally I would disconnect the fuel pump relay, or just to take the fuse out, and then I would run the engine until it's got no fuel. I don't have that luxury, so it's going to have to be. There's going to be some fuel. So, yeah. Definitely don't smoke when doing this. Oh man, all these lines are probably going to have to end up being replaced. They're pretty hard to move. Yeah, so this is the same kind of line too that was used with the other one. Well, not the exact same, but similar. So yeah, there you go, that's fuel. So that's the intake for the fuel rail, I believe. Let's see where the other it is. Oh no, that's a fuel pressure regulator. So this would be the return hose. And that one, because it's under pressure, will be the fuel line going in. All right. So what happens is the fuel has a pump in it. The pump sends the fuel up to here, right? This is a fuel pressure regulator, so it controls how much pressure. Then you've got a hard line that goes into the fuel rail, right? It pushes the fuel through these injectors. These injectors will let fuel off at a certain time and a certain speed and a certain amount. And then it goes into the combustion chamber, it just mixes with air, and you get bang when you put a spark to it. Alright, so these are the other clips that hold in the injector. Okay, make sure, same thing, these things can get lost real easy. So these injectors are going to have to be manhandled out, unfortunately. So Kay will be getting into other stuff another day, probably in another video. But yeah, she's a teenager, okay? She's not feeling well. You know, it's also she wouldn't be used to having this much fuel sort of in, you know, the vapors in your face as well, where I'm really used to it. So yeah, so we'll let her crack on onto whatever she wants to do for the rest of the day, and yeah, in another video she'll probably be in helping us with the Falcon again. Alright, so let's keep on cracking. Alright, so I've also got to undo the heater hose line as well. I've got to undo these plugs, get them out of the way. Vacuum line. We've seen better days. Anyway. Okay, so definitely all the bolts out now. I should be able to pull that off. Ah, there's another one hiding. Down in there. You can just see it. It's there. Then that should definitely be all of them. Well, fingers crossed, eh? Alrighty. That's the fuel line now loose. Yeah, one fuel rail. So yeah, I'll clean this all up and make it all sort of nice again. Make it look brand new. Might even put another regulator on there. We'll see how we go. Alright. So the injectors are definitely seeing better days. So yeah, they all need to be replaced. At least they're not too hard to get out now. Oh. Yeah, and I've got to get another dipstick. Alright, so there's the other 5 injectors. Obviously one of them is still stuck in the fuel rail. So yeah, get new injectors, new gaskets, all the new stuff. I reckon people, timestamp where this is and write in the comments what you think the housing is going to look like on the inside. Judging by that, it ain't going to be good. Alright. Come on. Are you ready for this, peeps? I'm not. Wow, actually, I was expecting it to look a lot worse. But yeah, you can see that that is so dead. It's rusted out completely. There's no end to it. It's all gone. That is, I haven't seen it that bad. But you know, this car, as I said, was in scrub for quite some time. Hence why the underneath is a bit. How you going? There's me flat end. Obviously, I'm going to be replacing the thermostat here, because that's rusted to buggery. Oh wow! Yeah, so we're going to have to flush the heck out of this engine. To explain why it hasn't been running, wasn't running all too flash. But they've also done some jank wiring and stuff in this too, so there's probably multiple reasons why this engine isn't running properly. The injectors could be buggered. I mean, they are pretty old looking. They look a bit tired, a bit like me. Yeah, like this has all been sitting for quite a long time. So possibly see how I go with the radiator and see sort of what condition it comes up in. But yeah, there's a good chance that this is, yeah, everything here is going to be replaced, unfortunately. Which makes, you know, I'm glad we've got until June here now. Our lease got extended. No, I want this car on the road way before then, obviously. It's just a matter of just cracking in, getting it all done, really. So all this has got to come off. Everything's got to come off. Okay, so that's that out of the way. I'll mark up these injectors and then we might get onto getting the rest of this undone and getting it out of the way, and then we'll probably finish up the video with that. Alright, yeah, work out what I need. Alrighty, so let's get the sway bar out of the way. So I need to get the sway bar off first before I can get to... Oh, you're cheeky. Yeah, so alright, so we'll get this one off. I'll grab everything out, and then we'll do a finish up for the video. Alright. The other one off. So we'll pull the sway bar out, and yeah, I'll show you what we're going to be doing with it. So all these parts are going to get reconditioned, new rubbers or new bushings, and yeah, painted so they look new again. So they're all fresh, all good bolts, all that kind of stuff. And of course, these as well will be getting reconditioned. Fuel line will also, fuel rail will also be reconditioned to look new again. So a lot of it's going to be reconditioned to look new. That's going to get replaced. So yeah, alright peeps, we're going to finish this up here. In the next video we'll be getting the intake manifold taken off, turned around, get the heater hose moved out of the way. Also got to get the power steering pump off, as well as disconnect the steering rack from the steering column. Yeah, so we've still got a bit to go before I can really get into it, so yeah, a lot of stuff's still got to come off. But yeah, as I said, that'll be in the next video. So also don't forget guys, I build bikes. So there's also a playlist for this bike, which is, I call it Z. I know it's a bit generic, but it's a ZX9R, so I called it Z. Yeah, so that I've got the part that I need to get the bike running again. Yay! It means I can do a first start, which is going to be nerve-wracking. But it means then, you know, I'll be able to get the bike running as well. I want that to be registered in January, so that I can actually ride again. Alright guys, big thanks to my daughter Kayla for, you know, getting her hands a little bit dirty. I want to get her involved more so that she can learn more, and that way then when she's out in the real world on her own, she doesn't have to rely on anyone to fix stuff, which will probably still be me anyway. So if you guys are enjoying the process and that kind of stuff, you know, the build and everything that I'm actually doing, if you really like what I'm doing, make sure you hit like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Make sure you check out Facebook and Instagram as well. You'll get updates, plus the events that I go to events. Make sure you check out all that stuff and give it a follow. Oh, well, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.